These 25 car features look modern and high-tech, but behind the shiny marketing, they're quietly murdering your car's reliability. Automakers pitch them as innovations. Mechanics call them job security. We went through service bulletins, recall data, and mountains of owner complaints. And over, the same patterns showed up. Flashy features that fail early, cost thousands to fix, and can leave you stranded without warning. From fuel-saving tech that kills engines in traffic to touch panels that fail in under 5 years, some of these are so bad that manufacturers are already pulling them from next year's models. And wait until you hear about the one near the top of this list. It's been linked to complete brake loss on brand new cars. Let's kick things off with number 25. We start with number 25, start-stop systems, the fuel-saving gimmick that quietly beats your engine to death in traffic. On paper, it's clever. Shut the engine off when stopped. Restart when you lift your foot. Save fuel, save the planet. But every restart hammers your starter motor, drains your battery, and drops oil pressure at the exact moment your engine needs it most. In stop-and-go traffic or cold weather, that's hundreds of extra starts per week, sometimes more than 100,000 over the car's life. The results? Dead AGM batteries, fried starters, and sometimes a car that simply refuses to restart. Ford's recalled hundreds of thousands of vehicles over start-stop issues. Honda drivers have been stranded in intersections when the system failed to wake up. And all this abuse? It saves you maybe $80 a year in fuel, which is wiped out instantly the first time you replace a starter. If you've got a disable button, use it. If not, aftermarket modules can keep it off for good. Because this feature wasn't designed to protect your engine. It was designed to protect automakers from emissions fines. Next, number 24, electric water pumps. The modern cooling upgrade that can silently cook your engine. Unlike traditional belt-driven pumps, electric water pumps are sold as smarter and more efficient. Able to run after the engine shuts down, protect turbos, and warm things up faster. Sounds great, until they fail. And when they do, there's no squeak, no leak, no warning, they just stop. 1 minute your engine's fine, the next it's in the danger zone, overheating before you can even pull over. Failures often happen far earlier than you'd expect. BMWs, Audis, and even some Toyotas have seen dead pumps under 50,000 miles. The reasons? Cracked plastic housings, burned out circuit boards, and random electrical shorts. Replacement? Around $2,200. Wait too long and you're looking at $6,000 or more for a full engine swap. The smart move is to replace them early, around 60,000 miles, before they take the rest of your engine with them. Coming in at number 23, keyless entry systems. Walk up, touch the handle, hop in, and push start. Keyless entry feels sleek and effortless, right up until it quietly drains your battery or makes your car an easy target for thieves. These systems constantly scan for your key fob, even when the car is parked. If the fob is nearby, say inside your house, the car never fully goes to sleep. That slow drain can kill a perfectly good battery in a week or two. Honda, Subaru, and BMW have all issued service bulletins warning owners about it. Then there's theft. Relay attacks let thieves extend your fob signal and drive off in under 20 seconds. Insurance claims for keyless cars are climbing fast. And repairs for broken sensors or modules can run $400 to $1,200. Smart owners keep their fobs in a Faraday pouch at night and use a battery maintainer if parking for more than a week. Because when always ready turns into always dead, convenience gets real expensive. Next, number 22, haptic touch controls. They look futuristic. Smooth glass panels with no buttons in sight. Just tap and slide like it's a spaceship. But in the real world, these things fail fast and frustrate even faster. Haptic controls rely on paper-thin sensors under cheap plastic. Heat, sunlight, and the oils from your fingers slowly cook them until they crack, bubble, or just stop responding. After a few summers, you're fighting the controls to change the temperature. Or worse, accidentally blasting the seat heaters instead of turning on the AC. Gloves? Forget it. No skin contact, no signal. And when they control essentials like climate, defrost, or hazard lights, a glitchy panel turns into a serious safety issue. When they fail, you can't just replace a button. You're swapping the entire unit, $1,800 for Cadillac system, up to $2,500 for Tesla screens. No wonder brands like VW are bringing back real buttons and new models. If you're car shopping, choose physical controls. They work in gloves, in winter, and after a decade, something haptic panels rarely survive. Coming in at number 21, active grille shutters. On paper, they're clever. Little adjustable slats behind your grille that close at highway speeds to reduce drag and warm up the engine faster. In practice, they're one more fragile, failure-prone part sitting right in the firing line of salt, slush, bugs, and road debris. All it takes is one frozen chunk of ice or a bent vane, and suddenly your engine can't breathe. The temperature spikes, the fans scream, and limp mode kicks in while you're still in the fast lane. Drivers have reported check engine lights, overheating, and cooling system failures under 60,000 miles. Repairs run anywhere from $500 to $1,500, and on some cars, the entire front bumper has to come off just to get to them. If you own a car with these shutters, shine a flashlight through the grille at every oil change to check for stuck vanes. And if you live in a snowy climate, rinse that grille area before starting the car in winter. Because once these fail, it's not just a fuel-saving gimmick anymore. It's a cooling system time bomb. Next, number 20, low-tension piston rings. Automakers started using them to squeeze out tiny fuel economy gains. Less friction, better lab results. Sounds harmless, right? Not so much. Lower tension means the rings don't seal as tightly, especially when you lift off the gas. That lets oil slip past into the combustion chamber, where it burns and leaves carbon behind. Over time, that carbon makes the rings stick, and oil consumption skyrockets, sometimes a quart every 1,000 miles. Owners often don't notice until the dipsticks bone dry or the catalytic converter fails. Toyota, Subaru, and GM have all faced class action lawsuits or quietly replaced pistons under warranty for exactly this issue. Once the rings seize, there's no cleaning them. You're looking at a $4,000 to $7,000 short block replacement. If your car is known for this problem, watch your oil like a hawk. Because once those rings weld themselves in place, it's game over. Coming in at number 19, air suspension systems. They promise a smooth, adjustable ride. Raise the height for rough roads, drop it for better aerodynamics. Sounds like luxury, until one piece fails and the whole system starts collapsing, literally. It often begins with a slow sag in one corner overnight. That tiny leak forces the compressor to run constantly, overheating and burning itself out. Moisture in the lines adds even more trouble, freezing in winter, corroding valves, and killing sensors. Some owners see failures in as little as 6 to 8 years. Replacing a single air spring can cost $2,000, and if the compressor or control module dies too, you're staring at a $5,000 repair bill. That's why so many owners eventually ditch the system for a coil spring conversion. Under $1,200 and far more reliable. Air suspension rides nice when it works, but when it doesn't, it's like driving a couch that's missing a leg. Next, number 18, button shift knobs. They look sleek and modern, no bulky gear lever, just a neat little button or dial. But when that button fails or the dial locks up, you're not going anywhere. Unlike a traditional shifter with physical linkage, these shift-by-wire systems rely entirely on electronics. One faulty sensor, a dead battery, or even a spilled drink can leave your car stuck in park. Owners have reported being stranded for hours, waiting for a tow, over something as simple as a $10 sensor buried in a $1,200 assembly. Hyundai and Ford drivers know this pain especially well, with warnings popping up at the worst possible moments. And when replacements are on back order, you might be waiting weeks. If your car has one of these, learn how to access the emergency release before you're stuck. And if you're shopping for a new ride, a simple gear lever is still the most reliable way to shift. Coming in at number 17, tire pressure sensors with sealed batteries. Since 2007, every new car in the US has been required to have tire pressure monitoring sensors inside the wheels. They're supposed to warn you before a tire goes dangerously flat. But here's the catch. Those sensors run on tiny sealed lithium batteries, and once they die, you can't just pop in a new one. When the battery's gone, The warning light stays on permanently until you replace the whole sensor. And replacing all four can cost anywhere from $400 to over $1,100, not counting the reprogramming fee, which some dealers charge another $100 to $200 for. Worse, when they start dying, you'll get random false alerts or dropouts, especially in cold weather. Many drivers end up ignoring the light entirely, which defeats the point of the system in the first place. If one fails, replace the rest while the wheels are already off. It saves you labor costs. And always use non-metallic valve caps to avoid corrosion that can ruin the sensor threads. Next, number 16, brake-by-wire systems. They sound like cutting-edge tech. Ditch the traditional hydraulic link between the brake pedal and the calipers, and replace it with sensors, software, and electric pumps. In theory, it blends regenerative braking and friction braking seamlessly. But when the electronics glitch, you've got zero mechanical backup. One bad sensor signal, a voltage drop, or corrupted software update, and you can go from smooth braking to limp mode, or no brakes at all. Tesla drivers have reported sudden brake loss mid-turn. Mercedes recalled over 200,000 vehicles for total brake failure. GM even halted Corvette deliveries when brake modules failed on brand new cars. Repairs aren't cheap either, often $3,000 or more, and most independent shops won't touch them because they require factory scan tools to even diagnose. If you own one, replace your 12-volt battery early, flush the brake fluid religiously, and have the system scanned before buying used. Because when brake-by-wire fails, there's no pumping the pedal to save you. Coming in at number 15, run-flat tires. They're sold as peace of mind. Puncture a tire, and you can still drive up to 50 miles at 50 miles per hour. Sounds like freedom, until you realize the downsides. Even with air in them, run-flats ride rougher, wear faster, and cost far more than regular tires. They're heavier too, sometimes 20 to 40% more, which puts extra strain on your suspension over time. And when they do go flat, most can't be patched. Hit a nail near the sidewall, and that tire's toast. BMW, Mini, and some Lexus owners report blowouts costing $2,000 or more for a full set. And because many cars with run flats don't come with a spare, if you have a failure in the wrong spot, you're waiting for a tow truck, not limping home. Smart drivers often switch to regular tires and carry a compact spare. It's cheaper, more comfortable, and a lot less drama when you hit a pothole at night. Next, number 14, capless fuel filler necks. No twisting a gas cap, no smelly hands. Just push the nozzle in and fill up. Sounds convenient until it isn't. Capless systems rely on internal seals closing perfectly every time you refuel. A single grain of dirt, a bit of ice, or worn rubber can keep them from sealing. The result? An evap, leak code, a check engine light, and a trip to the shop. Replacement filler necks can cost $100 to $220 for the part alone, and with labor, the bill often pushes past $600. If it fails in a cold snap, the flap can freeze open or shut, leading to fuel spills, or making it impossible to refuel at all. Smart owners keep the area clean, use the emergency funnel when necessary, and some even add a dust cap for extra protection, because no cap can turn into no fuel faster than you think. Coming in at number 13, 8 to 10 speed transmissions. More gears must mean better performance, right? Smoother shifts, quieter cruising, better fuel economy. That's the sales pitch. But cramming 8, 9, or even 10 speeds into the same space as an old 5-speed means thinner parts, more clutches, and constant guessing from the computer about which gear you actually need. When it guesses wrong, you get jerks, bangs, or even a sudden slip into neutral, sometimes before 30,000 miles. Ford, GM, and Jeep have all had major issues with these gearboxes. Some owners report hard shifts, others total transmission failure out of nowhere. And when they die, you're looking at a $5,000 to $9,000 rebuild, if parts are even available. The smart move is to change the fluid early, around every 40,000 miles, and never ignore delays, shaking, or odd noises. Because once one of these fails, more gears just means more expensive repairs. Next, number 12, electronic parking brakes. Push a button and your parking brake engages automatically. No bulky lever, no effort. Sounds great until it fails. Unlike a traditional cable you can release manually, Electronic parking brakes rely on tiny motors inside the rear calipers. One winter with salt and moisture in the wrong spot, and those motors can seize. When that happens, the car won't roll an inch. You're calling a tow truck. They're also software dependent, so a weak 12-volt battery or glitchy update can lock your brakes on, or worse, fail to engage them at all. Replacement can run $1,000 to $2,000 with coding, and many dealers keep the parts on back order. If your car has one, replace the battery before it's weak, rinse wheel wells in winter, and learn the manual release location now, before you need it. Coming in at number 11, smart charging alternators. In some cars, your battery doesn't fully charge while you drive, and it's not a malfunction, it's by design. Smart alternators use computer signals to decide when to send voltage, often letting the charge drop during cruising to save a fraction of fuel. Sounds efficient, but it keeps your battery sitting at 70 to 80% instead of fully topped off. That low charge accelerates sulfation, which slowly kills the battery, especially in cold weather. Some owners see batteries die in under 2 years. You'll find this on Fords, BMWs, Subarus, and more. Many also require pricey AGM or EFB batteries, which cost $220 to $450 and still wear out faster under these conditions. The fix? Use a home charger once a month or find a software tweak to restore traditional charging. Otherwise, get ready to replace your battery 2 to 3 times more often than you should. Next, number 10, sealed LED headlights. LED headlights are marketed as brighter, longer lasting, and more efficient. But when they fail, you can't just swap a bulb. The entire sealed housing has to be replaced. One bad solder joint, a bit of moisture inside, or heat buildup can kill them long before the car is paid off. Some owners see flickering or complete failure in under 50,000 miles. And the cost? Anywhere from $900 to $3,000 per light, often with bumper removal just to reach them. Toyota, Audi, Ford, and BMW owners have all been hit with these bills, and warranties often expire right before the problem shows up. If you're shopping for a new car, check if the lights are modular or if the housing is sealed. And if you already have sealed LEDs, keeping moisture away and avoiding long high beam use can help them last longer. Coming in at number 9, oversized wheels with low-profile tires. Big rims look sharp in the showroom, but once you hit real-world roads, they're a recipe for damage. Low-profile tires leave almost no cushion between the wheel and the pavement, so every pothole, curb, or rough patch sends the impact straight into your rims and suspension. Tesla, BMW, and Mercedes owners report cracked wheels, blown sidewalls, and suspension damage in just months. And when they fail, you're not just replacing a $250 tire. Bent rims can run $600 or more each. They also ride rougher, burn more fuel, and on EVs even reduce driving range. That's why many owners downsize to smaller wheels with taller tires after their first big repair bill. More rubber means more flex, better comfort, and far less chance of turning your wheel into scrap metal. Next, number 8, plastic engine parts. Coolant tanks, thermostat housings, oil pans, timing chain guides. More and more critical engine parts are being made out of plastic to save weight and meet emissions targets. The problem? Heat, pressure, and time don't mix well with plastic. When they fail, they often do it suddenly and catastrophically. BMW expansion tanks are infamous for bursting without warning, spraying coolant everywhere. Ford's plastic intake manifolds cracked so often they triggered a class action lawsuit. GM's 3800 V6 once melted its own intake from the inside, causing hydrolock. These failures tend to show up around 60,000 to 90,000 miles, and because many are buried deep in the engine bay, the labor can double the repair cost. Savvy owners replace these parts with aluminum upgrades before they fail. It's not cheap, but it's far better than calling a tow truck after your coolant reservoir explodes on the freeway. Coming in at number 7, keyless entry systems. Walk up, touch the door, and hop in. No key turning, no button on the fob. It feels modern and effortless, until you realize it's quietly draining your battery and making your car easier to steal. These systems constantly scan for your key, even when parked. If the fob is nearby, say inside your house, the car doesn't fully sleep, which can kill a healthy battery in just 7 to 10 days. Honda, Subaru, and BMW have all issued service bulletins about this. Then there's theft. Relay attacks let criminals capture and boost your fob signal, unlocking and starting your car in under 20 seconds. Repairs aren't cheap either. $400 to $700 for a handle sensor, or $1,200 for a control module. Smart owners keep keys in a Faraday pouch overnight and use a battery maintainer if the car sits for long periods. Next, number 6, soy-based wire insulation. For decades, car wiring was wrapped in tough synthetic coatings. Then, automakers switched to eco-friendly soy-based insulation to reduce environmental impact. Sounds responsible, until the local wildlife gets involved. Rodents love chewing through soy-based wiring. Mechanics see it constantly. One Honda owner had to replace wiring twice in a year, costing over $8,000 total. And it's not just rats, squirrels, mice, and even chipmunks go for it. The damage isn't always immediate. A small nibble can trigger random warning lights, drain your battery, or kill power steering in the middle of a turn. It's not only animals, these jackets also wick moisture, corrode faster, and get brittle from heat. Some owners protect their cars with rodent repellent tape, mesh coverings, or even peppermint spray. But if they get through, your warranty usually won't cover the damage. Coming in at number 5, low-tension piston rings. To squeeze out a tiny bump in fuel economy, automakers started using piston rings with less tension than they did 20 years ago. Less drag in the cylinder means better test results in the lab. But in real-world driving, it's a recipe for oil consumption and engine wear. Lower tension means the rings don't seal as well, especially under vacuum when you lift off the throttle. That lets oil slip into the combustion chamber, where it burns. Over time, heat and carbon buildup cause the rings to stick entirely. Suddenly, you're adding a quart of oil every 1,000 miles and wondering why your catalytic converter is failing. Toyota, Subaru, and GM have all faced lawsuits or warranty extensions over this issue. Once the rings seize, it's game over. Replacing the short block can cost $4,000 to $7,000. Your only defense? Check your oil constantly and change it more often. Catch it early, or it'll catch your wallet instead. Next, number 4, panoramic glass roofs. They look amazing in the showroom. A giant sheet of glass stretching from windshield to trunk, flooding the cabin with sunlight. But long-term, they're a heat trap, a weight panel, and a repair bill waiting to happen. In summer, panoramic roofs can push interior temps 30 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit higher than metal roofs. One test showed a car with a pano roof hitting 140 degrees Fahrenheit inside, compared to 104 degrees Fahrenheit without it. That means your AC works harder, fuel economy drops, and on EVs, range takes a hit. The glass is also heavier, raising your center of gravity and hurting handling. And when things go wrong, leaks, cracks, shattered panels, replacements can run $1,500 to $3,000. Adhesives dry out, seals shrink, and insurance doesn't always cover it. If you plan to keep your car for years, steel is the smarter choice, because Sky View loses its charm when it's leaking on your head. Coming in at number 3, tire mobility repair kits. Instead of a spare tire, many new cars come with a tiny compressor and a bottle of sealant. Automakers say it saves weight, boosts fuel economy a little, and frees up trunk space. Sounds clever, until you actually need it. These kits only work on small punctures, usually under 4 millimeters. If you blow a sidewall, bend a rim, or hit a big pothole, you're stranded. The sealant also expires after about 4 years, and most owners don't even know it's there, let alone that it goes bad. Use it once and you might ruin your tire pressure sensors or damage the wheel's finish. Some sealants have even been recalled for being a fire risk. The fix? Keep a real spare, or at least a proper plug kit in your trunk, because when the kit fails, your next stop is a tow truck, guaranteed. Next, number 2, capless fuel filler, NEX. No twisting a gas cap, no losing it, no gas smell on your hands. Just push the nozzle in and pump. Sounds like progress, but the capless filler neck hides a big problem. Behind those spring-loaded flaps are seals that need to close perfectly after every fill-up. A single grain of sand, dust, or even a bent flap can prevent a proper seal. That triggers a vapor leak code, turns on your check engine light, and sends you to the shop. Repairs aren't cheap. Replacement filler necks run $100 to $220, and labor can push it over $600. If it fails in freezing weather or after an accident, it can even trap fuel inside or cause leaks. Smart owners clean the flap area regularly, keep the included funnel in the car for emergencies, and sometimes add an aftermarket dust cap for extra protection. Because one lazy seal shouldn't ruin your weekend road trip. Finally, number 1, always on electronic systems. Even when your car is off, it's often still awake, draining your battery day and night. Remote start apps, live tracking systems, and keyless entry sensors can keep modules powered up in the background. A couple decades ago, a parked car might draw 10 milliamps, enough to keep a clock running for months. Today, many modern SUVs pull 70 to 150 milliamps when parked, enough to kill a healthy battery in 10 to 14 days. Tesla's Sentry mode can burn through 8 to 10% of a full battery every day. Ford has issued service bulletins about remote apps draining cars overnight. Even a Toyota RAV4 needed a recall because its emergency modem never went to sleep. The fix is simple. Disable features you don't use, keep a battery maintainer at home, and check for hidden drains in your vehicle settings. Because if your car never sleeps, neither will your wallet. And there you have it. 25 so-called features that are slowly killing your car and your bank account. Some of these might look high-tech, or even feel like luxuries when you first drive off the lot. But in the long run, they're just expensive headaches waiting to happen. Now, I want to hear from you. What's the dumbest car feature you've ever had to deal with? Drop it in the comments below, and let's see which one really deserves the top spot. If you learned something today, or just saved yourself a future repair bill, hit that like button, subscribe for more no BS car advice, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next countdown. Trust me, your wallet will thank you.